OneAcademy is the heart of our company. Cryptocurrency is not an easy product. It's a very innovative product based on technology and based on very, very complex concepts. For us to be part of this financial revolution, to be part of cryptocurrency and of a community, we need to understand exactly what we do and what we talk about. And this is why we have the OneAcademy. The OneAcademy provides you with concepts, provides you with explanation on cryptocurrency and on the financial world. I would encourage everybody to join the courses, to do the certificates, and to understand thoroughly how to use cryptocurrency, what cryptocurrency is, and how we can change the world by using cryptocurrency. OneAcademy. Learn today, lead tomorrow.
All right, that's the beautiful and brilliant Dr. Ruja Ignatova, our founder. Greetings and welcome to another Lunch and Learn OneAcademy Zoom call 2020, where we educate and discuss some key financial topics. As our brilliant founder, Dr. Ruja Ignatova says, learn today so you can lead tomorrow. My name is Sherry-Ann Charles Patterson, and I am your host today. I welcome all of you from around the world and the Caribbean. With a gentle reminder of what is OneAcademy. OneAcademy is an e-learning platform covering a broad range of topics, including financial areas such as financial analysis, asset management, Forex, stock exchange, cryptocurrency, and more. OneAcademy's mission is to provide the students with the guidance and educational materials needed to achieve financial literacy. OneAcademy was developed by finance experts and academics. It is highly structured and easy for their readers to understand. Our intention is to give you a unique sense of understanding and facts which you can use to enhance your knowledge and daily lives, as well as promote our core product, OneAcademy, and also the benefits of our entire ecosystem. I encourage you to take copious notes to assist you in your quest to become certified and knowledgeable, wise business leaders. I welcome you once more. Today is a very exciting and auspicious day. Today is Freedom Friday. Freedom means different things to different people. And it also comes in many different ways. I want to read something from the greatest book that was ever written, the Bible. And it says here in Hosea, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge." But today, we all have a chance to learn. We all have a chance to enhance our learning. And today, we have a wonderful presenter. And our presenter is Ms. Donna Simlal Singh. She's an educator by profession. She joined this business in 2016 with her husband. Not knowing much about finance aspect at the basic school level, her love for knowledge caused her to study the educational packages she and her husband purchased. Many questions came up during her studies, and her knowledge continued to grow as she continued to explore the education, asking many questions of her husband and making it her business to be present at most meetings, learning even more from her husband and business partners. Her desire to have people take their heads out of the sand and listen to what is happening in the financial world, she was very comfortable in her lack of financial knowledge with her head in the sand as well, but knowing better now, and she wants the same for others. She wants to remind us it is not only about the money, but the legacy we can leave for our family. I truly love Ms. Simlal Singh and her husband because they are people persons. And when you meet her today, if it's your first time, you too will fall in love with her. She's very knowledgeable. Ms. Simlal Singh, the call is now over to you.
Wow, Sherry, thank you for that beautiful introduction. You energized me. You know what I love most? The Word of God. The Word of God says, my people perish for lack of knowledge. And he said in his word, it shall not return unto him void. So I pray today that when I'm finished with you, your knowledge will increase. You see, COVID is what we are being challenged with, but it is not our permanent address. So today, I hope if your mind is in quarantine, that I'm going to take it out of quarantine as you walk the road of research with me. And you know, it is a beautiful time for us to learn more about the world in which we live in. Sherry, thank you once again. I'm going to share my screen with you at this time. Let me state my disclaimer. The information contained herein and dispensed is not designed to be a source of financial information, nor should it be construed as such. One Life is not an investment company. The images and videos in this presentation are the property of their respective owners. Take out your umbrellas, get inside your house, do what you need to do, because we are heading into a storm. The global debt reached 188 trillion in 2018. Spurred by low interest rates and loose financial conditions, we estimate that total global debt will exceed 257 trillion in the first quarter of 2020. And this information was given by the Institute of International Finance, January 14, 2020. So we are already in the storm. Just a second. Don't worry, sometimes little technical things, but we are going to get through this and we are going to get there. Nothing will stop this message today. Travel with me on a journey through the world of finance. Through this business, through this company that I represent here today, my mind started to move and wanting to know more. There was something in me that needed to know more. The education stirred me. And I'm taking you today behind the scenes because I asked you this question: what do we really know about the world of finance? What do we know about the lifestyle it creates for us? You see, to know is to be enlightened and empowered. But what do we really know? So today, let's rewind time as we go back and begin to understand the systems that rule our world and control our lifestyle and determine how you and I should live.
If you're confused by the difference between the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, and the World Bank, well, you're not the only one. Famed economist John Maynard Keynes, who was a founding father of both institutions, said that he was confused just by their names. The IMF and the World Bank are closely linked. So close that their headquarters are across the street from each other here in Washington. So what's the difference between them? It all started at this hotel in New Hampshire in July 1944, where 44 countries gathered for the Bretton Woods Conference. The goal of the conference was to agree on a new framework for the international monetary system, which is the rules and institutions that keep the global economy running smoothly. After World War II, most people agreed that the old system had failed. It had seen the Great Depression, unfair trade policies, and unstable currencies. After 3 weeks of heated negotiations at Bretton Woods, especially between Keynes, who was representing the United Kingdom, and Harry Dexter White, the U.S. Treasury representative, a deal was reached. The agreement created the IMF and the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, soon to be known as the World Bank. Each institution was given a distinct role. The IMF's job was to oversee a system of fixed exchange rates, which tied the value of a country's currency to the US dollar, which was pegged to gold. The main purpose of this was to make sure exchange rates stayed stable to encourage global trade. The IMF was also tasked with providing short-term loans to countries struggling to pay their debts. Meanwhile, the main goal of the World Bank was to give financial assistance to countries, mainly in Europe, that needed to rebuild after the war. The roles of both the IMF and the World Bank have changed a lot since the days of Bretton Woods. President Nixon unpegged the US dollar from gold in 1971, essentially dissolving the fixed exchange rate system that the IMF oversaw. Since then, the IMF has taken on a bigger role fighting financial crises around the world. It keeps tabs on the global economy and puts economic policies in place in member countries. The World Bank focuses its efforts on development and reducing poverty. It provides funding and resources in projects in some of the poorest countries in the world. Both institutions include 189 member countries, but the IMF has around 2,700 employees, compared to the World Bank staff of 10,000. The IMF is funded mainly by quotas, basically subscription fees from member countries. It receives around $675 billion in quotas, with the US, Japan, China, and Germany contributing the most. The World Bank is financed mostly by issuing bonds to global investors. The group's lending commitments reached nearly $59 billion in fiscal year 2017. The IMF has committed $160 billion under its current lending arrangements. Today, the IMF's biggest borrowers include Greece, Ukraine, Portugal, and Pakistan. The places where the World Bank is running the most projects are in Africa and East Asia. One thing...
Let me tell you something. When I did this research and I looked it up, I realized the International Monetary Fund, which is IMF, gets its money from quota subscriptions. 189 countries are part of the World Bank and part of the IMF. So these subscriptions are paid by us, by member states. The size of each quota is determined by how much each government can pay according to the size of its economy. This is worked out by a formula. I really loved finding out about this because I'm beginning to understand the world of finance under which I exist. A country's quota determines its maximum financial subscription to the IMF. It also determines its voting power in issues within the IMF, and it has bearing on its access to IMF financing. So the amount of money you put in, a country puts in, determines its voting power and the amount of finance that IMF will lend them. And it started my understanding of what happened in our country, Trinidad, when the IMF loaned us money. Because they're about helping countries that are in dire straits, but they are being paid money as well. We pay, countries pay them. And the World Bank gets their money through bonds. They issue bonds, and a bond is a government or company that pays investors a fixed rate of return. It's a loan to a government that pays investors a fixed rate of return over a specific time frame. So when they issue bonds and we buy bonds, hear what? We are lending them money. So they use that money to deal with the 189 countries and the issues. This brought a real light to my eye because it brought home to me, wait, how does the bank today work? Did you ever question that? I put my money in the bank faithfully for years, from since I was a child. I never forgot that. And I mean to say, I never wondered what it is. I felt it was secure, safe, and the right place to go. So maybe it still is to you and to me. I don't know, but let's look at how the bank deals with the money that you put in there. To begin with, they are happy to explain that our fee structure to you, as long as you understand that everything you do in the bank, from the first footstep you take in the bank, it will incur a fee. But I might be saying this and you might say, what do I know? I really don't know much, but I am learning. And I'm telling you that London parliamentarian Godfrey Bloom is going to share with you at this time his concept of banking.
It is my opinion that you do not really understand the concept of banking. All the banks are broke. Bank Santander, Deutsche Bank, Royal Bank of Scotland, they're all broke. And why are they broke? It isn't an act of God. It isn't some sort of tsunami. They're broke because we have a system called fractional reserve banking, which means that banks can lend money that they don't actually have. It's a criminal scandal, and it's been going on for too long. To add to that problem, you have moral hazard, a very significant moral hazard from the political sphere. And most of the problem starts in politics and central banks, which are part of the same political system. We have counterfeiting, sometimes called quantitative easing, but counterfeiting by any other name. The artificial printing of money, which if any ordinary person did, they'd go to prison for a very long time. And yet governments and central banks do it all the time. Central banks repress the amount of interest that rates are, so we don't have the real cost of money. And yet we blame the real retail banks for manipulating LIBOR. The sheer effrontery of this is quite astonishing. It's central banks that manipulate interest rates, Commissioner. And plus, underneath all this, we talk loosely, in a rather cavalier fashion, do we not, about deposit guarantees. So when banks go broke through their own incompetence and chicanery, the taxpayer picks up the tab. It's theft from the taxpayer. And until we start sending bankers, and I include central bankers and politicians, to prison for this outrage, it will continue.
Wow. I don't know what more to say after that, because when he spoke about deposit guarantees, I was like, deposit guarantees? When people put US in the bank, are you guaranteed to get it back? Or do you have to go in the line every day, sometimes just to get $100 out of your US account? But he made two other mentions that puzzled me. I said, what is fractional reserve banking? What is quantitative easing? I didn't understand it. And then when I started to do research, I saw fractional reserve banking is one of the biggest frauds of mankind. Most people, including politicians, do not understand how the banking and our monetary system works. Let me show you how it works. This is fractional reserve banking. So depositor A deposits $1,000. Let's call him John. He deposits $1,000 in the bank. The bank is legally required by the central bank to reserve $100, 10%. They can then do whatever they want with the remaining $900. They could lend it out, they could buy stocks and bonds, they could do whatever they want. In this case, they loan it out. At this point, there's $1,000 from the depositor, John, and $900, which they loaned out in the system. And the bank has $100. I'm telling myself, how could you end up with $1,900 from $1,000 deposit? You figure it out. The second depositor, let's say Mary, deposited $900. Reserve 10%, $90 went in, and they loaned out $810. The $810 at this point, added up with the $1,900 from before, says that there is $2,710 in the system. The bank now has $190, which is in reserve. The third person came in and deposited money. Let's call that third person Cheryl. Reserve $81, 10% as required legally. And legally, they can lend out what they want after that. That is $729, that's legal too. And at this point, there's $34.39 in the system. That's the $1,900 from before, the $2,710, and now adding the $729, there's $34.29. The bank has $271. I wish I could create money like that, because Lord, it will help me pay off my bills. But that's the banking system. And you see, quantitative easing starts the presses. You notice Donald Trump said recently that he's throwing $6 trillion in for the COVID situation. If they owe so much money, do your research. The US owes a lot of money, $23 trillion. So if they're putting out $6 trillion, where's that coming from? Where is that coming from? Start the presses. That's for your thought, food for thought. controls your money. Let's look at this video, because Henry Ford in 1922 said, he said, it is well enough that people of the nation do not understand our banking and monetary system. But if they did, I believe there would be a revolution before tomorrow morning.
Under this fractional reserve scheme, we inevitably become debt slaves to a ruling class of financial elite. Not because they are better or smarter than anyone else, but because they have rigged the system to benefit themselves at the expense of most people on the planet. Catherine Austin Fitts is an expert on this issue. She was an Assistant Secretary of Housing and Urban Development under President George Bush Sr., and then an advisor to the Clinton administration.
Let's set up a game of Monopoly and you want to buy Park Place. What I can continually do is just print money, give myself more money, lower the value of your money by printing more. No matter how hardworking you are or how successful you are, I can always end up buying you for free.
So how come if you or I make up money, it's called counterfeiting, but if the banks do it, it's increasing the money supply? How did the banks get this power? This is Jekyll Island, where in 1910, representatives from the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Morgans, and other private bankers gathered secretly to draft the legislation that would create the Federal Reserve. Ed Griffin literally wrote the book on what happened at Jekyll Island.
Central banks are banking cartels which have gone into partnership with the respective governments in the countries where they operate. And they've been given monopolistic power over the creation of the nation's money supply. That's what the politicians handed to them as a gift, you might say, for the partnership. Now, in return, what did the bankers do for the politicians? They promised to create money out of nothing, now that they've got this legal power to do it anytime the government needs it.
And since 2008, we've witnessed the greatest fake money printing run in recorded history. This financial sleight of hand disguises the costs, hides who's to blame, and leaves us as debt slaves working to pay off the bill. I found it revealing that in the same year the Federal Reserve was founded, 1913, the Internal Revenue Service was also established. An income tax was then instigated so you and I would have to pay the politicians' debt plus interest to the bankers.
The problem is we have a privately owned central bank system in the United States disguised as a government-owned system. Now, if you look in the telephone book here in the Washington, D.C. area, you look up for Federal Reserve in the blue government pages, it's not there. It's in the white pages right next to Federal Express. It's a privately owned central bank.
What is the proper relationship? What should be the proper relationship between a chairman of the Fed and a president of the United States?
Well, first of all, the Federal Reserve is an independent agency, and that means basically that there is no other agency of government which can overrule actions that we take. There is no other agency of government which can overrule actions that we take.
We have a private bank that prints money on behalf of the Treasury. The Federal Reserve prints money on a debt-based system which creates scarcity. But it puts a group of insiders in a position of having access to all the data about the economy when we don't. So you have a small group of bankers who understand the data on how the money works in the economy, and it gives them the ability to print money in a way that the insiders are protected and everybody else is drained.
Catherine went on to compare a healthy economy to a vibrant torus, balanced, freely flowing, and energized throughout, in contrast to what's happening in our current economy.
What you have is a system that's very dynamic, and it's trying to optimize. But intertwined in the core of it, you have a tapeworm. The way a tapeworm works in your body is it injects a chemical into your body that makes you crave what's good for the tapeworm and bad for you. You have a parasite that's very much manipulating and engorging itself at the expense of the whole.
We live in a tapeworm economy where the financial elite are the tapeworm and they're feeding on us. And they don't like it when people blow their cover. After Catherine began exposing government corruption at the highest levels, the FBI raided her company and seized its assets. She was dragged through the courts for 10 years before being found innocent. So we've got the Federal Reserve, a privately owned corporation with a monopoly on creating money, but with no accountability, backed up by a government with a monopoly on force. The country got sold on the Fed as an institution that would help stabilize the economy and remain independent of politics. But in fact, in close to a century of existence, the Federal Reserve has done just the opposite. Since they took charge, we've been robbed through inflation, and the purchasing power of the dollar has declined more than 96%. And the wealth gap makes it clear most of the money is going to a very few.
Say nothing against who controls the money. The instant you speak out or you do something that does not allow them control, they take away your control. They take away your life, because who controls the money controls the world. The key takeaways was the Federal Reserve and other central banks control money by adjusting its supply and adjusting how much it costs to borrow money. Influencing interest rates, printing money, and setting bank reserve requirements are all tools central banks use to control the money supply. Other tactics used by the central banks: quantitative easing, selling or buying up government bonds and securities. And let me tell you something, if you do your research, you will see that the Federal Reserve Bank controls central banks all over the world. They're under their power. Who controls the money controls the world. Inflation, a term that was just mentioned. It's an economic term that refers to a generally rising prices of goods and services. So coffee in 1970 was 25 cents. The coffee tree didn't grow taller. The coffees didn't change face. But in 2019, a cup of coffee is $1.59. And that's a mild example, because we know the increase on some things could be crazy. Let's look at hyperinflation in Venezuela. When prices rise by more than 50% a month, no wonder Venezuelans had to run and come here, because the price on Monday was 100 and by Friday it was 500. So the bees, something would be costing 1,000 bees to bolivars today, and by tomorrow it's costing 10,000 bolivars. So people had to stop using their currency because it became useless. People started hoarding and prices were just shooting up on a daily basis. These are the things that are facing us today. This is for your thought. Think about it, because the game of monopoly continues.
A dire projection from the International Monetary Fund, but one that many were expecting. It says the economic turmoil caused by the coronavirus pandemic could be more severe than the devastating 2008 global financial crisis. The IMF says the world's central banks should take even more extraordinary fiscal actions in a bid to ward off what could be a cushioning economic recession or even depression.
A recession or depression, well, we are there, because the IMF head says global economy now in recession. What is a recession? The GDP, gross domestic product, contracts for at least 2 quarters, but that's not all. There are many more economic indicators, but it contracts for at least 2 quarters. And a depression is an extended recession that has years, not quarters, of economic contraction. And the last Great Depression lasted, the effects of the last Great Depression lasted for decades after it ended. What is GDP was my question. And I found out that is the broadest quantitative measure of a nation's total economic activity. More specifically, it represents the monetary value of all goods and services produced within a nation's geographic borders over a specified period of time. But an economic contraction is a decline in that national output as measured by GDP. And that includes a drop in real personal income, industrial production, and retail sales. It increases unemployment. And we are there, we are there. But on the opposite side of every crisis is an opportunity. And that is why Bitcoin in 2009 came to be. Satoshi Nakamoto, if it's a group of people, if it's one, came up with hope, came up with a medium, a way to strengthen the economy, to make it stronger. Crypto is the people's money. Rich Dad Poor Dad author is highly optimistic about cryptocurrency. Now, this is a man who's a millionaire. He follows the money. So if he's optimistic about cryptocurrency, where are you? And he also predicted the historic market crash. Crypto is...
We use money every day, but we rarely appreciate its power and its flaws. It's a tool that has been at the center of human progress. And as we build bigger and tackle complex problems, we're going to need the best tools available.
We have a global economy. We're going to need a global digital currency.
Cryptocurrency is going to be a great democratizing force for the world because it's going to level the playing field and allow anybody with a cell phone to access financial services.
This is going to transform how we think about a real global economy. I think in order to understand its importance, we first have to define what currency means. What currency does is it actually allows us to agree upon the value of something. It's almost like a communication tool.
There are different ways of coordinating human beings. One way that you can do that is with money. You can incentivize people to try to work on the same thing at the same time.
We started off building simple systems like a bridge crossing a river to very amazing things like rocket ships. We went from interacting with our neighbors to now transacting with each other around the world. And we want to make sure that people can move money freely. And our current financial system just doesn't enable that.
So the current systems are very centralized, and so we have big banks and big governments. There's a lot of middlemen who make things incredibly inefficient.
When you talk about the problems of the existing financial system, you can go to a situation like Venezuela where money is being printed and folks' savings are basically being destroyed.
The value of their wealth has been completely eroded. I think a lot of us in the United States sort of take this idea for granted that someone gives us money, it'll be in our bank account, and it's not going to disappear or be taken away from us. And that's really a luxury that many people in the world don't have at all. There are about 1.8 billion people in the world today who have a cell phone but don't have access to any financial services. And what's really powerful about cryptocurrency is that it lets anybody, if you just have a smartphone and internet connection, participate in the global economy.
What cryptocurrency does is takes the stability that we have and gives it to the rest of the world.
You hear what they said? She said it takes the stability that we have and we give it to the rest of the world. All you need is a cell phone. That is why cryptocurrency is a growing commodity. It is over 5,392 plus cryptocurrencies in the world today. And it is being used by countries, by individuals throughout the world. Today, as an IMA, an independent marketing association of a company called OneLife, I proudly introduce to you a cryptocurrency that is here to stay, a cryptocurrency that is standing the test of the challenges that face it, OneLife. We are a global company with 3.6 million plus users, over 125,000 plus merchants, and we are in over 190 plus countries, and that is in just 5 years. What is our mission? I'll just share a bit with you. To enable a global community of web users to take active part in using and improving new cutting-edge digital products and services, and aim to increase the quality of life of members and to ignite a natural educational evolution. And that has happened to me because the education system opened my mind. We come under one ecosystem that surrounds the coin. And by developing the elements in the ecosystem, we encourage the coin's usability, functionality, and reliability. We have the OneLife, which is the network. We have the OneAcademy, which is the educational platform. We have OneForex, which is trading. Our charitable arm, where OWF goes all over the world helping and educating. We have the remittances and the exchange, which is coming on in a while, and very soon. We have the Deal Shaker merchants and the Deal Shaker franchise. And this is all part of the one ecosystem. Education is what people do to you. Learning is what you do to yourself. And learning is the key of understanding our world. And that is why OneLife said, Education is at the heart of our company. We look at finance, we look at Forex, we look at the law that governs cryptocurrency. We go into the levels of finance where you have financial markets, risk, financial management, and Forex, that $5 trillion business. We have that there for you. We take you from zero to hero in Forex. And the laws, we have legal implications for the regulators and regulations for cryptocurrency and much, much more. We have the deal shaker. It levels the playing field of money and trade. It's an interactive commerce hub where you can shop till you drop. And you're going to hear more about that later on. Every month, once a month, we do cashless shopping throughout Trinidad and Tobago. We have the One Market, the Petit Bazaar, Foodie Affair, and much, much more as we share what one can do for you.
If you have or do not have one, you must watch this video. OneCoin and OneLife were born in 2014 with the specific purpose of becoming the main digital currency in the world in terms of usability. This has always been the vision of its founder, Dr. Ruja Ignatova. One day we will use One to buy all kinds of goods and services. From 2014 to 2020, OneCoin and OneLife spread rapidly with great success in 94 countries in the world. And while central banks continue to print fiat currencies, creating inflation and poverty, the IMA that own One begin to understand the great value that they got purchasing OneAcademy's financial education courses. The world population will be forced into debt for living. One reduces the cost of living, the cost of money transfers, improves the quality of life by giving all its holders the opportunity from now on to pay for groceries, gasoline, utilities in general, travel, health services, and much more. Fiat currencies constantly lose value due to monetary policies that are not aimed to protect the interests of the mass. On the contrary, One, the more it is used, the more it increases its value because it is designed to protect the interests of the world population. One was born to be a non-speculative currency, to be used with the same value all over the world to buy and sell goods and services. In January 2015, with 100 euros, you could fill a shopping cart. Today, with 100 euros, you fill half a shopping cart. In January 2015, you needed 201 at 50 cents each to make 100 euros. Today, to make 100 euros, you just need 2.361 to maintain the same purchasing power as 5 years ago. This is the difference between those who have One and those who don't. We are experiencing an era of great changes, where the traditional economy is in crisis and new digital realities are exploding all over the world. Many entrepreneurs have started to understand the great opportunity of One and the Deal Shaker e-commerce platform. How to obtain the MasterCard debit.
Get back to the person who invited you and find out how to obtain that MasterCard debit. But note, we are about changing lives. We are about improving lives. We are about giving you a currency that has an accumulative power. Let me tell you how you can become a part of this business. 1400 TT to start on an educational journey that can change your life. And all other educational package are 25% discounted because of the COVID scenario and because we have a heart for the people and we want to save one life at a time. So you purchase a simple starter, 1400 TT, and you get your education. This comes with free promotional tokens, which you can choose to accept or not. But I think you will accept it because it will be mined and it will give you more coins. Let me tell you something, get back to the person who invited you to this call and find out more. Because we started in January 2015 at 0.50, 50 cents. And by 2019, we was 29.95. And today, a round of applause to all members, we had 42.43 in 2020. The goal is to become the #1 cryptocurrency in the world. And we are going to do this through usability. The coming time will be OneCoin, which will be used like fiat currency in the market. Opened in May 2020 in Shandong, China, the new deal shaker outlet store, and it's happening all around the world. What are others saying about cryptocurrency? G20 in 2018, 15 legal, 6 neutral, 4 restricted, 1 illegal. That's the countries of the world who control the money, who say what happens with your money. And in 2019 in Japan, they said the same thing. They reaffirmed position on cryptocurrencies in statements that says that cryptocurrencies do not currently constitute a threat to monetary stability, and that technological innovation can deliver significant benefit to the economy. We have Malta becoming the first country to regulate cryptocurrency. We have Mexico. Mexican lawmakers passed cryptocurrency regulation bills. We have India and other countries all over the world lifting the cryptocurrency ban because they are realizing the value.
China accounted for 90% of Bitcoin trade just 1 year ago. But with Beijing banning initial coin offerings, or ICOs, and regulators shutting down Bitcoin exchanges there, Japan is setting out on a different path, embracing the crypto movement.
Bitcoin trade here in Japan accounts for nearly half the global trade volume. Compare that to 25% in the U.S. The number has surged since the government passed a new law earlier this year recognizing the digital currency as a legal form of payment.
A legal
Days of overstuffed wallets in your back pocket or purse might soon come to an end. By 2020, mobile wallets on our smartphones are expected to surpass the use of credit and debit cards in the U.S. That has already happened in China. Ben Tracy is in Beijing to show us what a nearly cashless society actually looks like. Ben, good morning.
Good morning. So when I moved here to China a couple of months ago, I kept getting funny looks every time I would pull cash out of my wallet to pay for things. And then I got one of these. It's a code on my phone, and now I can basically buy anything here in China. When you pay for something, how do you pay for it?
Mobile phone.
With my phone.
Karin Linder stocks up on supplies at the supermarket. But Karin, like most people here in Sweden, won't be paying with cash when she gets to the checkout.
I personally never use cash. As you see here, I'm shopping. I use my scanner. When I check out, I'll use my credit card, and my banking I do on my iPhone.
That's it. Ideas are birthed every day. People all over the world are coming up with ideas to create different things in society. Mark Zuckerberg said cryptocurrency wasn't going to work. Right now, he's in court fighting to get Libra, the new cryptocurrency out there. He's the CEO of Facebook. Elon Musk, if you look on, you'll find out about him, founded SpaceX. He says change the world and help humanity. Robinhood, co-founder and CEO of a free trading app that lets investors trade stocks. Apple, we know the story of Apple personal computers. That's a home improvement hub. That they started from a simple background, a husband and wife doing interior decorating changes in their home, and they are now worth an impressive $4 billion. Under Armour, Kelvin Pang, playing football, found it wearing the heavy sweaty shirts under his jersey was uncomfortable. He designed a shirt that would stop that, started selling from his car trunks. Within 2 years, he's nearly $4 billion in annual revenues in his company. Ideas are birthed every day. When cryptocurrency was born in 2009, what do you think was the desire? What do you think it was the heart? It was to make life better for you and me, to bring a currency that would stand up. As my friend Michelle would say, she'd always say, the story of the tale of two economies. And she's looking at fiat and cryptocurrency, where cryptocurrency is digital currency money. It uses blockchain, which brings trust into the system. It serves as ordinary money, such as dollars and pounds. It depends on supply and demand, hence it is called virtual gold, right? Blockchain, let me tell you something, look up it, do your research. A blockchain is a chain or record stored in the form of blocks which are controlled by no single authority. It is a distributed ledger that is completely open to anyone and everyone on the network. And hear what? The data stored in the blockchain is tamper-proof and cannot be changed. Nobody can enter nothing in a book and say that is the money there. It is tamper-proof. Unable to control the growth and influence of cryptocurrency, many leading central banks across the globe are working on or contemplating launching their own versions of cryptocurrencies. And we are seeing it in England, in Sweden, in Uruguay. But digital currency without blockchain is simply currency issued by a bank in digital form. Listen to Robert Kiyosaki. Listen to the wealthy of the world. If you do your research, those who follow the money are engaged in cryptocurrency. Otherwise, the monopoly money continues. And right now, the money is wearing a mask to prevent COVID. Never be afraid to reinvent yourself. Cryptocurrency, my challenge to you, is it a scam or the next currency? You see, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win. I leave you with those thoughts. And I thank you because together we make history. Thank you. I thank God for being part of this. And people out there, please get back to the person who invited you. Find out what is happening behind the scenes and become a part of a community that can change your life. Thank you. One's out.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. That was wonderful, beautiful. It was very invigorating knowledge that we all received today. Thank you so much, Ms. Samuel Singh.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
To me, the greatest freedom is freedom of the mind, and that only comes with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which was delivered clearly today by our wonderful presenter, Ms. Samuel Singh. Today was by far your best presentation. And I love how she said education is what people do to you, but learning is what you do to yourself. Friends, as Ivan Marx says, it's not going to be business as usual, but business unusual. And that is cryptocurrency, which you've just learned about today. I thank God for the educators and presenters that bring such knowledgeable information to us to take our heads out of the sand. And today, I know that we all learned something new from her today. Wow, thank you so much. Now, thanks to Dr. Ruja, our founder, we have an entire ecosystem. And one aspect of that is our deal shaker. So today on this Freedom Friday, we have the Merchant of the Day. We welcome back this mother and daughter duo who were here with us yesterday, speaking about their handmade jewels. And I learned from them that there are health benefits in their beautiful jewels. They also have another very special, unique product with greater health benefits that they are going to tell us about today. So let's welcome these mentally free merchants on this Freedom Friday. It's over to you, Ms. Beal.
Hello, good evening to everyone. Good night, good morning, all around the world. You hear?
Yes, we are.
Today we come again from the Simply Gems team. We've decided we're bringing out some of our products that we have. We have deodorant, 6 different scents. One is Queen of the Nile. One is Pijano. One is Butt Naked. One is Desire. And one is Unscented. Those are the 6 different scents we have in the deodorant.
Are we supposed to be seeing something?
You want to see? Yes, you're seeing it now?
No, we're not seeing it yet. Okay, yes, we are. We are seeing now.
But now we're not hearing.
Yes, we hear now.
Okay, hearing now.
Yes,
Right.
we are.
So these are the scents, the front scents. Unscented, Queen of the Nile, the Jano, Buck Naked, Desire, and Fountain of Youth. In inventing these deodorant, which is all natural, we decided that we would give a little miss of extra scent. And based on that, we created body mist. All the scents that we have concerning the deodorant, we do it also for the body mist. So you have an extra oomph. All natural, no alcohol in it, pure natural stuff. It's drying to the skin. It's not drying to the skin. It's refreshing, keep your body refreshed and all of that. We come now onto the different type of herbal soap. We have up to about 11 different type of herbal soap. We have like charcoal, which take out all the toxin from your body. We have ginger, we have lavender, we have neem, we started a Himalayan sea salt soap, which is like when you feel it on your skin, you feel like if you're in a spa. First, it's have you feeling smooth and nice, and it's helpful extremely for women, because women need to have those kind of salt product on their skin to be able to purify and make themselves luscious and nice. We have ginger soap, not ginger soap alone, we have saffron soap too. We have many different types of soap, up to 11 different types for now. Then we invented of recent, because of the COVID, we inside bringing in new products again. We bring out a loafer soap, where you're able to scrub your skin to take off all the dry cells from off of your body. Boy, does that feel real nice. You wouldn't believe it, but nice. Then we have this product that we call our shower steamers. Our shower steamers, when you rest it in the bathroom and you activate it with the water, trust me, you feel you inside the spa itself. So it gives you all that aromatherapeutic feeling all up in your nostril, your head. We have for headaches, we have for night if you get in trouble to sleep at night. We have for in the morning for you to rejuvenate your day. We have for bronchitis and cold and flu, which is excellent for this COVID-19 that we have here. You just take a little woof, smell, and cold go in. This is our products for the day.
All right, Ms. Beal, thank you so much. The packaging is very beautiful. It looks awesome. I have a question, and my question is, besides the fact that we can get your products for coins on the Deal Shaker, someone may be thinking to themselves and saying, you know, I could just go by Pennywise and and get, you know, the natural products that they have there. But I understand that these were created by you and your daughter. These are not some things that you ordered overseas or abroad. You put hard work into this, and there are healing benefits in these products. So tell us about some of the very potent and important healing benefits today.
Okay, when I made my daughter, Bertha, in growing up, we realized that she had a lot of problems concerning skincare and stuff. And based on that, and because of that, we decided, look, we really have to do some research in order to try to get something as natural as possible. So what I'm telling you is that we tried the majority of stuff from Pennywise and all these, even the expensive stuff from other companies, only to realize that we were getting real problems. Even into the process that going to the doctor, they told us that using the deodorant that they have, she might end up developing cancer. And upon doing more research, after the doctors tell us this, we realized, look, we could do much better than the chemicals that we were seeing that causing a lot of different ailments in people's bodies. So it wasn't only her that was getting problems. We realized other people were getting problems. So based on this, we decided, here we're going on. Let us try to see what we could come up with as natural as possible in order to put out a product. In making the deodorant from all the natural stuff, we realize a lot of people, when giving them to try out, they're saying, wow, this thing working. It's real nice. Why you don't sell it? And this is how we came about to sell deodorants. In doing the deodorants, we went straight on to soap because you don't want to just check the underarm. You want to be able to also check the whole skin, your whole skin analysis you're doing in order to be able to do whatever. And the soap that we buy on the shelves outside is not what you call soap. Sorry to say it like this. They are detergents. So you're not supposed to be washing your clothes with detergent and washing your skin with detergent too. That doesn't make any sense. So this is how we came about to do the soaps them, and in great at investigating and stuff, we realized that making soap was invented from since in Egypt time. They were making soap 5,000 plus years ago in order to come out from that detergent product. They wouldn't tell you that, but we would safely tell you all because we know that our soaps work. The body mist came about because we didn't want alcohol-based stuff. So that we tried doing other things, and everybody keeps saying, no, use the alcohol. But we said it will work if we do it without the alcohol. And believe you me, nice smelling stuff. We have a lot of customers that keep hanging us down for some of these products. Just likewise, the shower steamers came about because I just suffer with bronchitis, and my daughter thought it best, you know what, let me see if I could come up with something in order to help the situation, because it has been really bad at times. Because where I live is very cold, and this is how we started off with the deep breathing, and we accelerate and did breathing easier. So, and it was a nice product, and from that, people start asking us for different ailments. So we have a few. So we just started off with 5 different items. So one of them was those for headache. A lot of people complain that they have a lot of migraine headache because of the heat and all of that. So we created this clarity, and that seemed to be helping a lot of people. Our best sellers are Good Morning, Rejuvenating for the Day, and Good Night. I will tell you this. We have a customer that called us a day, stunned that she was getting a lot of problem to sleep at night. And we tell her, try this thing, see if it will work. And we try it, and it never have enough for her. That is one of the products that always selling fast. Every time you see we get, you have to make sure you send it back to her to be able for she to continue having, because she said anytime she go without it, it's like no ease. She had to be able to sleep, and this product seemed to help her. So instead of she take a sleeping pill, she prefer to go and take a nice little shower and have the shower steamer in the shower, get the aromatherapy, breathe in the scent from it, and in 2 twos, she off the bed, asleep, and sleeping for her full 7 hours. Does this help clear up some of the products?
Very, very clear. Thank you so much. We are all so proud of Simply Gems, a mother and daughter team. We are really, really proud of you guys for the initiative that you took, for what you are doing for yourself and extension to the people worldwide. You know, these products are on the Deal Shaker, and it all started with the OneAcademy. Our ecosystem is wonderful. Today we got financial education, and we also got some health education from our free merchants today. Thank you so much, so much, Simply Gems, for being on this Freedom Friday with us, and we truly love your products and look out for much more sale. We are out of time, so I want to say to each and every one of us on this call today, today was such a beautiful, I feel even more free than I was. It was invigorating. It has me thinking even more so what I can do. There are so many people that have said no in the beginning to me and to many of us. But when I looked at that tapeworm that Donna showed in her presentation, I cringed to know that we are controlled in such a way. We need to free our family. We need to free our friends. We need to get back to them, those who said no, because many of our IMAs and even our presenters have said no several times. And here they are today sharing this education. So friends, it was wonderful being on this call today. I say thank you and I bless all of you. Come back again on Monday at 12 noon for another Lunch and Learn Zoom. And we will see you tonight on our Zoom call so you can get some more information. So I say to all of you, blessings to all, and see you again tonight or Monday, please God. Goodbye.